been in our series, Think About It. Think about it, amen. You should think about it. Just dealing with this understanding that the programming lies in our minds, amen. The power is in your mind and our mind, and that's what we're going to be working on today and with the rest of this series in the time that we have remaining, that is power in the programming and reprogramming of our mind, amen. So think about it, think about it. Let's rock and roll. If you don't have a Bible and you need one, if you throw your hand up like this, we got ushers in the back. They'll bring a Bible right to you. If you need a Bible, if you already got your Kingdom Life app out, if you want you to pull that out now. If you haven't downloaded it, it's free in your app store. Search for Kingdom Life Ministries. It's going to look like what you see on the screen, and you can download that, and it'll come right to your app store, your phone, your mobile device, tablet, whatever you use. Amen. You can follow on with every scripture. Well, let's get ready to rock and roll. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Let's dive right into the text. Amen. Let's, if you would, jump over with me to Romans, the 12th chapter, and the 2nd verse. That's Romans 12 and 2. Romans 12 and 2. I'm going to read it to you first out of the ESV version, then I'm going to jump to that same scripture in the God's Word translation. Let's look at this text and see what it says. Romans 12 and 2. And the text says, "Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing," or renewal, as this version says, "of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." Same text, I'm going to jump over to the God's Word translation. It says it like this. It says, "Don't become like the people of this world. Instead, change the way you think. Then you'll always be able to determine what God really wants, what is good, pleasing, and perfect." Do me a favor, tell your neighbor this quickly. You need to renovate your mind. Find somebody else talking the same thing. You need to renovate your mind. God bless you. I'm glad we're here. You need to renovate, renewal, transform, metamorph, renovate, change your mind. I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt that was coined with this phrase. She said, "I am who I am today because of the choices that I made yesterday." Who you are today is a direct result of the choices you made in life. This morning, in fact, you made some very conscious decisions as you got up this morning. One of the best decisions you made so far today is decide to get out to the house of God. Amen? Amen. And if you're watching online and listening to this recording, one of the best decisions you made in this moment and being intentional is to log on or to open up this recording, turn on the radio as you might be listening right now, to dive into this broadcast. That is being intentional in your decision making. Somebody shout choices. It's my endeavor on today to go further and excavate into this understanding of the power of our mind, the programming in our mind, what's going on in between our two ears that's directing where we're going from day to day. And this series entitled Think About It, it's our goal to understand and remember the power of the mind. Your daily behaviors are a result of what we define as our set point, our program. This exists in your subconscious mind. And as we talked about over these last couple of weeks, your subconscious mind, this is the place where it's set on who you are. It's come up to with a series of data and information over time. It has come to a place where it's set on who you are. And as we talked about 2 weeks ago, your subconscious mind rejects change. So in order for you to change your thinking, you have to change your set point. This kind of change that we're going to talk about today is not going to be easy work. Set point changes will require both you and I to be very, very intentional. It's going to require you to put in the hard work and stay committed to your commitment. So this morning I intend to deal with the power of choice and the importance of renovating your mind. One thing I've learned about renovation projects is one of the first things that need to happen in a renovation project is you need to assess what needs to go. This morning I intend to dive into and begin to assess our existing program and determine some of the stuff that is present that must go. Have you considered for a moment all the choices you make on a daily basis? The myriad of data that you have to process through, ultimately to make the choices and decisions about what you're going to do on a daily basis. And when we're honest enough with ourselves, we don't always make the right choices. Yeah, we don't always do the things that we should do. That's only when we're being honest enough and able to acknowledge the fact that we make a lot of mistakes. And sometimes, when you want to do what's right, and you want to do better, you still don't make the right choices. I like what Paul says here, Romans 7th chapter, 18th verse. Look at this with me. Paul says, watch this, for I know that nothing good dwells within me, that is, in my flesh. I can will what is right, but I cannot do it. For I do not know the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I do. Now, if I do what I don't want, it is no longer I that do it, but the sin that dwells within me. For I know that no good thing dwells within me. Why is it that even when sometimes you want to do right, want to do better, should do better, sometimes you don't? Paul hits it on the head here. He says, there's something going on with my flesh. Yeah, I got issues with my flesh. I got stuff going on within me. And as we're lifting from this text this morning, the principle to suggest that it's some stuff that's still in our program, that's still impacting the decisions that you make, even when you want to make better decisions. I remember my wife and I, we were in Mexico several years ago, and while we were there, we had this idea, I think it was my wife's idea, to go on this boat, little boat or canoe, whatever you want to call it, and they gave us some paddles, and we went out to this certain area that they gave us, and we went on the Gulf of Mexico, we paddled, and we on this boat. And I remember one of the things that they told us when we got out there is, you know, hey, everything is cool, however, there is an undercurrent out here. So they wanted us to be mindful of the undercurrent. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, well, if you give me this caveat, this asterisk by me, is it really safe? And so they tried to assure us that the best they could, that everything is good. So we got out there, went out there, everything was good. And I'm here to tell you, man, I don't know if I was tripping or not, but I just felt like we was drifting further and further from shore. To a point, I told my wife, we got to go back. And we started pedaling harder, and I think it was me more than her. I'm like, man, something's wrong here. And nevertheless, everything was all good, but you can feel as you got further out into a certain space, this undercurrent pulling you. This undercurrent suggests that even though we want to go one way, there's something beneath the surface pulling us another way.
Yeah.
Even though our intentions were to go forward, the undercurrent was pulling us in a direction that we didn't want to go. We desired to go this way, but looked up and we were further and further away from the shore. Undercurrents. And we all have some level of undercurrent in our lives where you desire to go in a certain direction in your life. You desire to move forward. You desire to do certain things. You desire to be better. You desire to hit your goals. But somehow, some way, it's an undercurrent. Somebody shout undercurrent. That's pulling you. That's shifting you in a direction that you didn't intend on going. And peep this, on the surface, what I learned in this first-hand experience, on the surface, everything looks good. But it's what's going on beneath the surface. And sometimes, in the surface of our lives, things look good. But my God, when you look beneath the surface, and you see the undercurrent in our lives, it's moving us, shifting us in a direction that we may not want to go. And I need to submit to you that one of the reasons we don't always make the right decisions in our lives is not always because we're not trying. But can I suggest to you that in many cases it's because of our past? Can I suggest that you might be in a place where you're being sabotaged by your past? Say it again, Pastor, as you're speaking to me. You might be getting sabotaged by your past. Feeling like, man, I'm trying to do the right thing, but it's some stuff that's impacting me going forward. It's your existing belief system and your program. And it's this undercurrent that we're talking about that's moving you in a dominant direction of your life. Your existing program, your belief system, that's moving you in a dominant direction in your life. I told you before, here it is, I'm telling you again as we're kicking this off, your program is already set. Now it's when you decide in this life that you want to make some changes. Just like the thermostat in your house, I told you before, you turn the thermostat up when it's hot or cold. But if it's a programmable thermostat, remember it's set at a default setting. No matter the temperature, it's going to go right back to the default setting. But in moments, in this walk, in moments when things are seemingly going good or not so good, I'm telling you, there are times where you have to reach for the thermometer and change your set point. But here's the problem. If I don't change the program, I go right back to my default. So I'm here to submit to you that just because I'm excited in a moment, and you're going to hear this word, and you might go to your thermostat and crank up the temperature a couple of notches, that's good. But in order to stay there, I got to change the program. Somebody shout program. You make decisions on a daily basis, and on a daily basis, your decisions are connected to your default settings. That's your default programming that we're talking about. You have a program that is driving you every single day. That program lies in your subconscious. Well, let's dive in closer. Let's come closer to the crib. Listen, how you act, how you treat people, what you think about, is all connected to your program. You have a default program that is set on how you do things in life, and this program is already determined. Watch this. Whether you're mean towards people, whether you're sarcastic towards people, whether you treat them nicely, whether you gossip about them, whether you snap back, clap back, whatever back at them. However you think about them, whether it be good, bad, nasty, positive, whatever you think about,
It all comes from your programming. Somebody shout program. Not only how you treat people, but the things you do on a daily basis. The decisions you make. What you think about, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's inappropriate. It all comes from your program. Watch this. It comes from this program that determines how you act in public and how you act in private. And are they the same people? All these are connected to your program. In order for you to change your ways, family, you have to change your program. That's good, Pastor. Say it again. I'm taking notes. I'm writing that down. In order for me to change my ways, I have to change my program. Okay, here's my news flash. First one of the day. Here it comes. When you came to Jesus, I need you to know something that's important about when you came to him. Something happened. Your life changed. But watch this. There's something that didn't change. When you came to Jesus, your program didn't change when you came to Jesus. Oh, this is so good, Pastor. Teach us. For some of you, that might be a tough one, but let me walk it down. Just because you came to Jesus and accepted him as your Lord and Savior doesn't mean you have had a change in program. It does mean that instantly your spirit was made new. It does mean that you are now connected to God directly. And now his Holy Spirit has taken place in your spirit. It does mean that you now have the access to overcome everything that comes against you through your relationship with Christ. But let me tell you that it doesn't mean that automatically that the things you used to do, according to the old you and to the old program, automatically goes away. Somebody shout program. Your program still exists. Don't you know your old program, whatever it was, or whatever it is, still exists. Even though you've come to Jesus, you love him with your heart, you still have an old program that is active and present in your life. Well, let me come closer then. For example, if you struggle with anger, I know none of y'all would. Y'all too safe for that. You struggle with a bad temper. I know none of y'all got no bad temper. Before you got saved, guess what? You're going to have to deal with anger and a bad temper after you get saved. Somebody shout program. If you struggle with addiction before you got saved, you're going to have to deal with it after you get saved. What kind of addiction? I'm talking about whether you're addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, addicted to pornography, addicted to lying, addicted to cheating, fornication, adultery. Whatever that program is still intact unless you've done the hard work to change the program. And in order for you to overcome that old program, it must be dismantled, disassembled, and you have to deprogram that thing. It does not happen overnight. It does not happen automatically. It does not happen just because I said yes. I got to do the hard work. Somebody shout hard work. Well, come closer then, Pastor, because if you smoked weed before you got saved, well, after you get saved, that program still exists, and it will demand that it carry out its function. Well, if you slept around with everybody before you got saved, well, after you get saved, that program still exists, and it's going to demand to carry out its function. If you did drugs and alcohol before you got saved, that program still exists, and it's going to make demands of you. If you treated people badly, if you were sneaking around doing things that you shouldn't have been doing, watching things you shouldn't have been watching, thinking bad thoughts, handled your money poorly, if you did all these things before you got saved, whatever the program was prior to you coming to him, if you haven't done the hard work of changing the program, it's still intact. Somebody shout hard work. Woo. Preaching already. since I'm here, let me come right to the crib then, because some people that don't understand how the programming and the mind works and how it relates to your walk with Christ, see, they might try to come at you sideways. What do you mean by that, Pastor? See, when you got saved, anybody still remember when they got saved? If you haven't got saved, this is a great day to come to Jesus. But when you got saved and you said yes to him, this is what happened from those that were watching you. They may not have said it, but then this is what they were trying to say. They were looking for what we call and define today as an instant change in you. This is good. The second you said, man, I got saved, they're looking for, oh, wait a minute, you changed now then, all right? And it's at that point where they're looking for instant change in you, and they expect from you to go from being a hot mess to holy and perfect overnight. Anybody ever had those kind of expectations on you? Where folk expected you to be perfect and you just said, look, I just can't meet that bar, because they set a bar that's so high for you that it's unrealistic for you to obtain. And then, watch this, when you don't reflect their view, notice I said their view of what is holy and perfect, this is what you hear them say to you, because when you don't hit their bar, because your old program kicked in, this is what you hear them say back to you. Here it comes. Oh, I thought you were supposed to be saved. See, I wish I had about 10 of y'all real in here that said that. No, they had about at least 5 people said that to you some point in your walk. That said to you, I know some of y'all just too saved. Tell your neighbor, say, look, he's talking to me. He's talking to me. If your neighbor didn't say nothing, then I'm talking about them. Because here's the thing. When you didn't meet their bar, their expectation, what they viewed as holy and perfect, and you missed their bar, then they want to say to you, oh, I thought you were supposed to be saved. And here's the thing. The truth is, there might be some truth to what they're saying, depending on what it is they're saying. And I've told you before, watch this, that just because somebody might be hating on you, it don't always mean that they're lying about you. Yeah. You might not like what they say, but it might be some truth to what they're saying. There's still something you can learn from your haters. But sometimes people are just saying the wrong stuff, saying the wrong things, because that's just who they are. But what some of those people that expect an instant change out of you might be trying to say to you is this: I thought you were supposed to look like and act like my vision of Jesus. What they might be trying to say to you is that it's as if when they see you, it doesn't look like you've changed much. What they might be trying to say is that your speech doesn't look like Jesus. Your actions don't look like him. Your character doesn't look like him. In other words, what they're trying to say is, you look more like the world than you look like Jesus. And if you're not doing right, and not trying to look like Christ and act like Christ, what they're saying to you just might be some truth to it. But let me help you as you go to this next place in your walk. You have to first acknowledge the fact that you will not change overnight. You will not be an overnight success. Here's where some people get lost, family, is because they let other people talk them out their walk with Christ. Yeah, some people let everybody else talk them out of being a follower of Jesus. Don't you know everybody got something to say about your walk? Everybody got something to say about your life. They got something to say about what you're doing or not doing. If you let people and you give them a space in your life, they'll tell you all the things you're doing right and all the things you're doing wrong. Everybody has an opinion, but everybody can have voice in your life. Everybody can have a place of authority in your life. Everyone can speak into your life. And if you allow them to speak into your life, then you'll find yourself following down a path following their direction and their guidance that may not be based on any substance, doing all the things that you should be doing because they have a perspective about you. And they talk people out their relationship with Christ. See, some people, the spectators I'm talking about, the critics is what I'm talking about, they're critics of your walk. And these critics will begin to critique your lifestyle and make these declarations about you. And they'll talk about how your life doesn't match up with Jesus. And people, if you listen to them long enough, watch this, you might start believing that your life hasn't changed much. If you listen long enough, because that's the enemy speaking through people like that, you start thinking, I'm disqualified to even be a Christian. I can't meet the mark. I can't be what he's calling me to be. I make too many mistakes. I'm not even capable of carrying this thing out without making another mistake. Well, here's your first principle. Don't let anybody talk you out of your relationship with Christ. Not some people. Don't let anyone talk you out of your relationship with Christ. Just because you might still be a little rough around the edges. Just because you might not be as polished as you want to be. It does not disqualify you from relationship. Do me a favor, tell somebody, he still loves me despite my flaws. Tell somebody else, he still loves me despite my flaws. Let me tell you this, there are no overnight successes. And there's certainly no overnight successes in Christianity. So, whatever you struggle with before you said yes to Jesus, here it comes. You're going to need to renew your mind, a renewing of your mind, so that you can change that program and get free from it. Now watch this. We, Lady Park and I, our leadership, we can and we will war for you to help break those spiritual strongholds. But watch this. You have to do the hard work to break the stronghold over your soul. Your mind, your will, your emotions. You got to do that work. You got to put in work. Programming. Somebody shout programming. What are you telling me, Pastor? Because I thought when I came to Jesus, everything would change. Yes, everything. Your life has now changed forever. But now, here comes the hard work. You got to change your program. You got to change the way you think. Because whatever you think about the most, whatever's dominating your thoughts is what you will see acting out, revealing itself in your life. What are you thinking about? And if your old program is still intact, whomever you were before you got saved, and you haven't changed that program, here's the difference, y'all. Here it comes. There have been times in your walk where you've turned the thermostat up. But somehow, some way, you found yourself going right back to the default setting because the program never changed. And what we're showing you today is, yes, you love Jesus. Yes, he's in your heart. But there's still some things going on in your mind, in your program that must change. And in order to see and have what God wants you to have, you got to change your program. What's going on, family? I want to thank you for taking a moment to tune in and log in, man. We're so excited to have you here. Do me a big favor. Please like, share, subscribe. Click the bell right there. Turn on your post notifications. And make sure you subscribe to Kingdom Life Ministries. Man, listen, I thank you again for tuning in. Remember, all roads lead to Kingdom Life, 620 Greenwood Place, right here in the beautiful city of Jackson, Michigan. I can't wait to see you next time. I'm going to talk to you soon.